SureDog.com here with the victorious Marloes Coenen. Obviously, your opponent really wanted this rematch. Did you really feel like this was a match you wanted, or it just is the one that came?
For me it was really important to fight in Invicta, so I didn't care who my opponent was, and they picked out this opponent for me. But if you win and you have to fight the same person again, there's not so much to win. But in my opinion, if you're a true fighter, you keep on fighting anyone who wants to fight you until they don't want to fight you anymore. And we had this certain strategy that I should take it easy in the first round and then to frustrate her, because I knew she wanted to take me down. She's a black belt. And then put the pressure on in the second. But I think I thought I broke my finger in the first round, so I couldn't use my left hand anymore. And that little bit frustrated me. And we also, part of the strategy was to really work on our legs, because if you do the low kicks and a knee on the legs, and she takes you down, she cannot pull guard good anymore. So that was a strategy. And I'm not too pleased with the fight, to be honest, but I'm back again, and the next fight will be better. I hope it will be soon, maybe in July again.
There's always more pressure on the rematch for the person who won the first time. Did you feel like there was any added pressure because of that?
I lost my last fight, and it cut me from Strikeforce. I lost my belt, they kicked me out of Strikeforce, and now I had to fight this girl I already won once, and she had everything to win, and I didn't have anything to gain, So, yeah, there was pressure on me. But on the other hand, I was so happy to fight on this first Invicta fight. I really think this is like this marker in history for the development of MMA, and I was headlining it. So actually, in the end, I didn't care who was fighting, as long as I was fighting at the main event in Invicta.
There's been an all-women's promotions before. They haven't succeeded. What's going to be different about Invicta?
I think it's the momentum. I've been fighting in Japan a lot, also for all-female organizations. But if you see what's happening now with the Fox deal and all, and they really want to make MMA mainstream. But what I think, if you want to have something mainstream, it should be attractive for anyone. Everybody should relate to it. So if you only have this very masculine look and feel for your sports, it's really hard for females, or half of the population, to relate to it. And if you only have one or two girls in the car, women will not relate. They will think like, oh, well, she's a freak of nature, that's not my girl. But if you have an all-female card with a variety of girls, women can relate. And that's what I think is so good about Invicta. And Shannon Knapp is behind it. She's a veteran she worked for every organization. I know her pretty well. I know how driven she is, how intelligent and all. So I think it all comes together now. And I really think it's a mark in the history of the development of MMA.
What's left for you? Like, what do you want to accomplish in MMA? Is there a particular fight out there you want? What's the next 5 years look like for Marloes Coenen?
Well, I want to become a mom someday, but the first 2 years I will keep on fighting. And I really want to work to my fight against Cyborg again. And meanwhile, prior to that, I want to fight good girls, so I can learn a little bit more before I'm fighting Cyborg again. And then when I was in Japan, in my first fight in Japan, I fought Yuki Kondo, and I gave her a concussion, I broke her arm, and then with a retirement fight, she wanted to fight me again. And at the time, I was like, why do you want to fight me again? I did that to you, But it's really the Japanese mindset. And later on, when I grew older, I was like, I totally get it why she wanted to fight me. Because when you go out, you want to go out with a bang. And that's the exact same reason I want to fight Cyborg anymore. I don't care if she whoops my ass, if I lose, but I will take that fight and I will give my all.
You're signed here to Invicta. She's signed to Strikeforce still. She's still on suspension. We don't really know where she's going to end up. Are you confident that fight will happen before?
It will take place, definitely. Yeah. And like I said, it will take, I think in 2 years I will be fighting her, not prior to that. And maybe it will take 3 years. I don't care. But I don't know what will happen with Strikeforce, And I do know the people behind Invicta, and I know that Invicta will be around for a long time. I heard that the numbers of people who are looking at online were, like, in the beginning of the show already, like, at the second fight, 85,000 people. And it was climbing, so I have no clue how many people have seen it. And it was just the first show. So Invicta will be big.
One last thing. The end of your run in Strikeforce, you were fighting at 35. Came back up to 45 for this fight. Is this where you're going to stay?
No, I fought open weight. I fought 155. I fought 145. 135. I don't care. Give me a fight, I will take it.
So you'll go back to 35 if they have a fight for you.
They want me. Because I'm very tall, I'm a head taller than the other girls at the 135. I do need a lot of time because I have to diet for a long time before I get to that weight. And if I look back in 2011, I did the first time was the best time when I was fighting Sarah, and then the second time it was a little harder, and the last time it was like bananas. So because I didn't take rest after that, and I traveled a lot. After my fight with Liz in March, I flew to Thailand, from Thailand to San Diego, back to Amsterdam, and then I had to diet again for Misha, and I asked too much from my body. But if I will be fighting 135 again if they give me a good fight. Just tell me 6 months in advance.
Following the Misha fight, you actually came here to Kansas, right? And you stayed here a while, worked on wrestling.
Yeah.
How do you feel that went for you?
Yeah, well, because I stayed in Kansas because I had so much opportunities coming in and people wanted to sign me, and they thought I would fight within weeks again, and that's why I stayed in Kansas. And then I met Eric Aiken from the East Kansas Wrestling Club, and he was an amazing teacher. And then I was like, okay, I can work out MMA here as well, but I can do it in the Netherlands. And in the Netherlands, we do not have great wrestlers. So I was like, well, it's easy. I'm going to wrestle with Eric Aiken, especially after my fight with Misha. So, but I couldn't use it in the game plan from today because my trainer told me to keep it standing, And but I do feel like you really have to stay training with the wrestlers to progress a lot. But the sense of gravity is better now with me, and working with my head and stuff like that. The basics have stayed with me. But I hope I can be back in Kansas again for a few months and work out with him again. Will be great.
They're planning on doing a show in July again. Are you hoping to be on that card?
I'm open for it.